Hey everybody, welcome back to another QJ walkthrough. My name is Justin and QJ is my passion project. I'm going to show you how the DJ interface looks now. Over here on the left, I'm going to click Find a Dance Floor and I can go to my venue this way. Or actually, I'm going to go back and just go DJ Login. Then you'll see the DJ. You're going to put your email address here and password. If you forgot your password, you can put your email address and click send a magic link. If you have multiple venues, which you probably don't, you can click in and choose select venue. But if you only have one, you can click default venue and you'll be just fine. I'm going to pause the video and log in and we'll catch up on the other side. Alright, you are back here with me, Justin, and I'm now logged in, and this maybe looks a little bit busy, but over here on the left, I'm logged in as a DJ. In the middle is sort of a tall, skinny version of what someone would see on a cell phone. Their phone is probably not this tall, but it's the idea. And on the right is the desktop version, if people happen to be looking at that. I'm going to start over here from top to bottom. You can see when there are large updates, I'll update this so you get something there. You can click dismiss once you've seen that and you shouldn't see it again until there's another big change. You can also click this button to see these walkthrough videos on YouTube. I'm going to click dismiss. Alright, up here at the top, this just goes back to the main landing page. Here we have our view selector for the panels, and these little buttons will send it to the left or right side down here. You see here I've got requests and queue. Let's say I wanted history and queue. Right here I can click this button and it'll put the history there. If I want to see my dances database, I can click that and that'll put that there. I'm going to go back to requests on the left and queue on the right. That's the most common layout. If you only want one panel, you can do that up here. Let's say you just want the queue. I'm going to click queue and then click single panel, and there you go. I'm going to switch it back to two panels, requests, queue. That's pretty standard. Up here at the top in this tools menu, we have announcements. We can change the venue theme and we can get to our DJ specific settings. I'm going to show you announcements first. If I go to add announcement, I can set a general announcement. Maybe that means taco truck outside. Tacos are yummy. And let's say they're going to be there until 6 o'clock p.m. When I put that, you'll notice over here in the patron views, I get an announcement that says that. There's some weird typo there. I'll figure that out. Don't worry. Same deal there. It shows up here also. Also, if you are using the big screen mode, which I'll show you now, let's see, we'll put a full screen one. And it's going to want me to pick a theme. That's fine, whatever. But same thing, you'll see my announcement shows up here too. Once you've got some announcements, maybe you need to manage those announcements. You can click Manage Announcements and you can see the ones you already have. You can delete all of them or you can add another one. The other type of announcement that we support is a dance lesson. Let's say someone is going to teach Austin, and for the instructor we have our very own Dasha. Oh my gosh, we're a celebrity because she made the dance. How exciting. And I'm going to click Save. Then now I've got two announcements here. Over here there are two. And when you go in there for Austin, we'll adjust that UI thing, but there's also a link to the step sheet that you can open and go to Copper Knob. This looks like having to open a file on Sundance instead. But you get the idea. If you put a different link there, that's what it'll go to. Now over here, it's talking about some Spotify stuff. You may not see that. That's because we have some sort of experimental Spotify integration. That's not something that's officially supported, but if you feel like exploring it at your own leisure and signing up for a developer account with Spotify, you can play with that. But it's not an official part of QJay. Then again, if I go to Manage Announcements, I can delete one of these and then it should disappear from that list there also, and it did. Okay, in venue theme, I can go here, and I know some of this theming stuff can be a lot, but you can also turn it down as much as you want. So if you want a more flat look, you can pick the flat variants. If you want that pop of color, you can pick that and choose whichever one you want. This is what your venue is going to default to. You may notice mine are all stayed on this theme. That is because I set that as a local theme. And let me show you how to do that. If you go here to menu, you can set your local theme. So let's say you want to pick this green one because that's what's best for your venue. You can be on the venue theme. And if you just can't handle that because it's really, really busy, then go to pop or go to flat and maybe this ink one, and it's nice and chill. So that's an option there too. I'm going to switch back over to our venue theme. And again, if I go over here to venue theme, you can see when I change that, it updates here. In DJ info and settings, you can set all of this information, this custom link URL and custom link text. If you don't want people to send requests and don't want them to access QJay, you just want them to go to something else, you can put that here. Please don't do bad things. Tipping. If you don't want to receive tips, you can type no tips in here and it will hide that. You can type your handles for all of these things, and then once they are filled in, they will show up in that option. If nothing is here, it will give you the option to tip with cash. In display, right now the best functions are with show all upcoming songs. If you want to have that less so that only the next so many songs show, you can set that, but it will affect what patrons see in this Me tab. For instance, if you have something queued and it's in number 15, but you only have this set to 3, then this isn't going to report where it is because they can't see it. So just know you may get people requesting things going, I requested that and you didn't play it. Where did it go? We'll work on that. Okay, account, you can change your password. Very exciting. And under integrations, you can connect Last.fm and Spotify. Like I said, the Spotify thing is kind of experimental. I would suggest setting up Last.fm. It's pretty easy and supports a lot of different websites. You basically just click connect.last.fm or connect to Last.fm and follow the instructions there. And then on Last.fm, you can, oh look, there's a how it works button. You can follow these instructions and you can set things up. Basically, if you set up the thing with what they have called a web scrobbler, anything you can play in the browser will report to Last.fm and subsequently to QJay. And then when that gets detected, it will advance it from your queue. I normally have, like I said, I have mine set up with Spotify because I'm playing with that right now, but Last.fm works also. Now, moving down, here's the now playing section. You can see here it says how many things are in the queue, shows me what's currently playing, some album art if we can find it, and then there's a play next button, and this says manual. So if you're in manual mode, which means you're not connected to Last.fm or Spotify, you're going to get this play next button, and when you click it, it should just move the next thing from the queue up to here. You notice it also updated here on the patron view at the same time. This arrow will just move this down to the bottom if you decide you like that better for reasons. Now, I'm going to pause this for a second and connect to Last.fm so you can see what that looks like. All right, Justin back here, and I am going to show you how to get this set up to work with Last.fm. So I'm going to go to Tools, DJ Info Settings, Integrations, and click Connect to Last.fm. Then it's going to ask me if I want to do that. Sure, I do. And then I click Yes, and it should bring me back. Now, in another browser tab, I have YouTube Music open. And I'm going to play a song and show you what happens. All right, the song just started playing, and now you can see it updated here and here. That was all just detected manually because Last.fm detected it via their web scrobbler. So it detected what I was playing in my browser and updated all of this. If it's something that had been in the queue, it would have moved that up. Let's see if we can get Randy Travis to play here. Let's see, it's Look Hard, No Hands. All right, so that song just started playing on YouTube Music. And then you can see it updated here and updated there just about as soon as Last.fm noticed it. So that is how the Last.fm integration works. Again, if you want to play with the Spotify thing, you can do that too. Or also, if you just play Spotify from your browser tab or through Spotify's native Last.fm integration, everything you play will be read by QJay. You really only need to mess with the Spotify developer account stuff if you want QJay to be able to send songs to Spotify, which is a nice perk, but nothing that you have to have. Continuing with our walkthrough of the DJ console, you can change the size here with all this stuff. I'm gonna, normal control and plus or control and minus will change that, or you can use the scroll wheel on your mouse to do that. If you get too big, you start to lose these buttons and things start to kind of get collapsed. So you get this like action row down here. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see that as much, so it may not be as consistent. All right, moving on here into these panels. We have requests. When a customer makes a request, it shows up here. Now you can see the request I made earlier has updated here and says that it was played. If I go into history, you can see there's that there. I'll show you again. Let's switch to the request panel. And if I go over here as a customer and request, let's say I want to do a bar song to Shabuzi. Let's pick something else. Let's say I want to do Call Me Senorita. Notice there's a song link here. If the venue has set up a step sheet, that also shows up pretty much everywhere too. Setting that again, the tipping options show up for what I have set up. Here is this. Now let me show you something neat here. I'm going to request the same song again. I'll show you in the desktop view this time. That was a bar song, but I'm going to request it. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was Call Me Senorita. See, there's the difficulty, there's the step sheet link. I'm going to change the song. Let's say I want to do that to The Sign by Ace of Base. Now, notice over here, it says that 2 people have requested that. And if I click on this, I can see both things. I can also see that this was a song swap, so that's letting me know that that's different than what I would normally be expecting. If you don't like that, you can click grouped here and they will show up as separate requests. But if you want them grouped, there it is. Now, similarly in here, let's go ahead and put another one in. I'll put a request for a partner dance. We'll do a cha-cha. There you go, Texas by Blake Shelton. That works nicely as a cha-cha. And now you can see I've got there. If I go over here to filters, I can see just the line dances. I can see just the partner dances. I can see all of them. I can sort by various things. Although most of that only applies to line dances, that's why you're not seeing any change here. Queue requests, if I were to click add all next, I can add all of these over here. Although I think with this one, it's probably going to only add the one marked as primary. And then right here, you can click clear requests, or if you want to try to find the music links, if these don't have song links and you want to try to find them, you can that way. This simple button just makes everything a little bit less. And then you can do the same thing over here in the queue. So if you just want to see a one-line view of everything with less buttons, you can do that. Anywhere that you see this little handle, that is a drag handle, you can drag that over like that. Let's edit this cha-cha instead. And there we go. So now we've added that. You can see it updated here as well. Let's say I'm going to do Call Me Senorita. I'm going to click Add Next. Uh-oh. Do I want to keep this one or clear the others? I want to clear the others and just keep the one I wanted. So there it is. All right, moving on. This is the Q panel. You can drag things around and rearrange them. You can expand the view. These move things up and down. These move things to the top and bottom. This marks it now playing immediately, and that deletes it. Be careful with that. If you want to open the music link, you can. If you want to edit it, you can change all of that there. If patrons have liked it, let's say I go over here and, ooh, now they added Call Me Senorita. I love that one. I'm going to click like, and then you'll see it updates here. You can click here to see the step sheet link if you're not sure what it is. Here you can try to find those music links again if you want those Spotify links to be included. Or you can click Clear Queue to delete all of that. That's dangerous, be careful. Moving on, we can switch this to the History panel, where we can see everything that we have played. Over here I can delete all of those, and I can add to my venues archive. You can import from that later. If you delete something and click deleted here, then there it is. The things that you deleted will also show up. If you turn that off, they go away. All right, the last thing I'm going to show you here is the Import Export tab. If you have not set up that Spotify stuff, then some of this isn't going to do much. So here's from Spotify, obviously wouldn't. You can import things from a CSV file. There are lots of websites where you can get a playlist as a CSV file and import that here. If you already have things in your archive, you can bring those in. You can preview them or import them that way. Once you have things in here, I'll show you that. I'll go from archive and I will import this. So there's a couple of songs there that I imported. And then once they're there, they work like other things and you can add them to the queue. If you want to export this, you can save it to either the dances database, which we'll talk about in a minute, or to your archive. Here you can add everything in the import export to the queue. This will go to those integration settings and kind of walk you through if you want to be able to import your Spotify playlist, how to get there. And here you can clear imported tracks. All this does is clear what is sort of on this table. There's also a button here for bulk edit, and so if you go in there, you can tell it what kind of dance each of these is. So, oh, no, that was right. That was going to be a bar song. And so if it doesn't know, you can fill that in. And let's say if instead of that line dance, we wanted to do West Coast Swing, we can put that. And then click Save Changes. There they are. I'm going to click this Add All Next, and it should pop them all in right here. You can see now it has gone everywhere. All right, let's look at the Dances panel. There's a lot here. You can search by dance name, song, or artist. If you only want to see the Britney Spears ones. If you only want to see songs with the word bar in it. Difficulty level does not work here. You can go here though to filter and you can choose those. This list of difficulties is definable, so if this feels like it's a lot, that's because my test venue is messy. You can certainly have this pared down and be much simpler. Sort dances, options there. You can sort by difficulty, and then there you get those. If your songs don't have music links, you can add them with this. This little heart is for partner dances, so define the styles that people do where you are. If people like to do bachata and cumbia, but not so much waltz or nightclub two-step, then you can add that and you can give it a color. It's all very fun and customizable. Looks like we can find a nice green, because I like green. Then we'll click Add, and there we go. And again, now that we added that, if I go over here to Requests and go to Partner Dance, you'll see that bachata shows up. They don't get the green color, but it is there. I don't know, I guess. There you go, there's a nice bachata song. Okay, this is where you can edit those difficulties. So if that seemed like a lot or you want them to be in a different order, you can change that here. Maybe you don't need intermediate and low intermediate, you can change that. If a dance has it, it is still in there and it may just sort at the bottom. So you might want to, if you want to delete low intermediate, then you may want to go find all the ones that say low intermediate and change them. Now this is a really important one. If you go to import CSV, you can do a lot. So give me just a second and I'm going to open a file and then show you. All right, I loaded my file and now you can see there are a couple of different tabs. I'm going to click line dances, click next, and then I'm going to say, let's see, dance name in my file is dance name. Instead of song title, I have original song, which has them combined. For difficulty, I have that here as difficulty. Music link, I don't have that. And step sheet link here is step sheet. I think that's all I have. Now I'm going to click apply mapping and preview. And then I can see that. It looks like everything is going to work. There are 2 with unrecognized difficulties. So I can click this to add those, or I can just click next and go ahead. And it may not work because this is duplicates here. So we'll see, but this is how the process goes. Yeah, no rows. All rows were imported because they were duplicates. Yeah, this is the file I already used before. But you see how it works. Very handy. Then over here, if you want to manually add a dance, you can do that here. Very, very easy. That is pretty much all of the user interface stuff for QJay. So I hope that is helpful and you find that useful for you. Let me know if there are things I can do to make this easier for you or more functional. If you go up here and go to send feedback, you can report a bug or send a feature request. And again, you can send support if you just love QJay. Thanks for your help.